This is Gemstones and Whiskey, an Outlander podcast. I'm Ashley Alexandra.
And I'm Reena, Ezra.
And this is Season 2, Episode 4, La Dame Blanche.
Love these French names. We are playing it after the opening credits now.
Beautiful.
And immediately, this Golden Gate, what is happening here?
Beautiful.
Whose courtyard is this? Also, whose library is this? Already giving points to costume and, she
has gems
to set.
on her gown. They're gems sewn into her gown.
Yeah.
Jamie is playing chess with Duvernay.
We have a lot of chess in this season.
Yeah. Also, is this at Versailles, maybe? Like, are they just chilling? Imagine being in Paris for one day and then being like, hey, we would love you to be a regular at Versailles. Are you cool with that? Like, what?
Me? Oh. Yeah, I also feel like the just comparing it to Game of Thrones, the costumes and sets are definitely different, totally different, but just way more colorful.
Yes.
Way more
Of
exciting.
course.
Yeah.
Just
saying, shout out
so
to your crew.
the Comte Saint-Germain just showed up and everyone's buttholes tightened because nobody likes him. And he really brings down the mood, makes it real tense.
Yeah, he certainly does.
He walks by their table, exchanges some words, is like, hey, lady, and then just, walks away with his cane, like a little pimp cane situation. Is that PC to say? Should I not, pimp cane? Am I stereotyping pimps?
Because they have kids. I'm the wrong person to ask.
Is
one.
That...
And two, I don't think it's
I'm just saying I shouldn't make the assumption.
I don't think it... No, but it's not... Well, I get... He doesn't really have, women under him. He's not that kind of
you're right. No, but I'm just saying,
But because there's...
Isn't an outdated association? Anyway, I digress.
I honestly don't know. I wish I had an answer.
If it is, I apologize on the record.
But if it isn't,
then it's okay that you laughed at it. So Claire is suddenly unwell. She had a drink from a tray, and she is
this episode about to get tense.
Now, I will say Comte Saint-Germain is standing behind her watching this. His face is pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Everyone else is, running over to the pregnant lady who's, not okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're wanting
classic Jamie, literally picking her up,
carrying her to safety. But she looked definitely not well. But I don't know if they want us to think he, that guy was up to it, something fishy was going on here. But we are pretty sure, Claire was just saying she doesn't think it was poison. But she says bitter cascara?
Yes,
cascara?
So that's the
drug that she saw at the apothecaries?
Yes, and that essentially, it won't kill a person, but it does make them very ill. Mm-hmm. And also, Monsieur Raymond was like, yeah, that's what I give people who come in wanting to kill people, so that they can't actually kill the person.
Mm-hmm. But then then that person you tried to kill is alive, and then they can find out who did it.
Awkward.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I mean. He's gonna be like, I'm not gonna facilitate the murder of someone.
Yeah. How does he keep that product on his shelf then? If people don't come back and be like, hey, this didn't kill this person.
Well, first of all, because you're not going to be listen, I spoke to Mary and she said when she got it from you, the same thing happened.
I would do that.
Going on here.
I would do that. I'd be like, I'm putting your review 2 stars on Amazon.
No, so they can't tell anyone that they bought this product. Right. They can't be excuse me.
Yeah.
And I guess, they just think, all right, I didn't use enough, or, this person has a real strong immune system, I guess.
Yeah, so it's why would someone... already we know Claire's made enemies. So why, who, what? Question.
So now they're like, this season has some very weird plans. They're like, all right, what if we throw a dinner party?
It feels like a reality TV show, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like Housewives of Frasier?
Yes. Where they're like,
Housewives of...
yes, bring the sprinkle cookies. So yeah, they're like, all right, we'll throw a dinner party and we'll invite the prince and everyone will see that he's just weird and that'll fix our problem. And like no. Because he essentially is like, I don't know, maybe people decide not to give him a bunch of money. Wow, what just happened? Did I have a stroke?
What?
No,
no, you're good. Are you good?
Are you good? I don't know.
I didn't hear an issue. Oh God. Also, Claire thinks this is a decent plan. She
of course she does.
Oh my God, here she goes. Okay, we keep thinking, she's like, I need to tell you something. And she says it! She tells Jamie that Jack Randall is alive. And that she met his bro, Alex, on their first visit to Versailles. And you're right, that was Versailles. And that the brother, Alex, works for the Duke. And now this is a lot of information that Jamie is now taking in. Obviously, they know Jack Randall didn't die. Black Jack Randall is, he was injured, they say, in a line of duty. But so this is his first, totally surprised me. When Jamie was like, this is wonderful news.
So Jamie seems to be really happy to receive that news, and Claire's like, what?
I don't think the reaction anyone was expecting.
And he explains, listen, for months I've been tormented by the fact that, the idea that he died and I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to, confirm that it actually happened. And I think also probably, too, a part of him is, I wasn't the one that got to do it, right? I think he really would have gotten satisfaction from that. He's like, so now what you're saying is that he's out there and I have a second chance to murder him. Straight up murder him.
Yeah.
And now he has, some sick kind of hope, which, hey, hope keeps coming up in our conversation. It's a powerful thing.
It is.
He says it essentially is a gift, and Claire's like, okay.
I mean, how do you feel about Jamie's reaction?
It's strange. I wasn't expecting it. Certain things...
healthy?
No, certainly not. Healthy, no. Kind of hot? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see that fire ignite in his belly again.
Love that dress. I know it's basic, but
the lace with the lace.
I
in the
love
very,
that.
very front by her
and the
breasts
sleeves.
The sleeves.
And
also,
the
just
fabric.
the color palette in general.
Sorry, this is
French
a bad
clothes.
season for a podcast. But
No,
you guys
look at this though. It's so
can't.
True, people. Just Google images. Don't even worry,
the
people.
Ruffle.
She's wearing also this hoodie, this hoodie dress. What is happening here with all these other flowers on it?
It's
but don't worry, people.
Perhaps?
I will put the images of her dresses
You're very good
and
at
fashion,
those.
putting that on Instagram for our next post. Because this is where it's at.
So Claire shows up at Raymond's place and is like, hey, someone tried to kill me and I could have died and my baby could have died and I know whatever it was, you gave it to them. So who was it? What's the deal?
And he said it was a servant that he did not recognize came and purchased it. Also, how do you even believe him? How do you even know what he's saying is true?
You don't. And he's like, hey, why don't you just come to the back of my shop for a moment? And she's like, Also, look how beautiful that is.
It is really beautiful.
I just want to live in an apothecary shop.
It is. Look at this green. It looks like it's already decorated for Christmas. But it's not. Those are just the color tones. But, it's just... I
want
love it.
herbs hanging from the ceiling.
You can do that.
I know.
There's no one stopping
but
you. You don't have to
cool
be
in real life.
in front.
like in like a modern building, and then it just
Someone just comes in. They're like, "Why do you have
Weird.
herbs coming from the ceiling?
my furniture's
Why does yours
from
look like
IKEA.
Jumanji?"
And I have lavender just like taped to the ceiling.
Taped with Scotch tape. That's funny.
So essentially, Raymond's got this like fancy little back room with all these cool treasures, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been around for a while.
He's got like a dinosaur
He's
skull.
like, I like
that's
to collect
neat.
things.
That's cool.
So is now? No, now's not a good time to say it. Never mind. That was almost a spoiler.
Ooh, okay.
I
guess we'll find out later.
So. Okay, so this is the first time we get to hear from Claire that she's a little concerned about Frank's future. So essentially, if Jamie's gonna go and try to kill Jonathan Randall, what does that mean for Frank? Will that mean he never existed? Like, how does that work? And I mean, obviously Claire has made her decision and she's living in this time now, but like, I guess she still worries. And I don't know, I wonder if there's a part of her that's like, well, if his family line doesn't continue and he never exists, does that impact me? Do I exist? Will I still be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of unanswered questions.
So then she just plays Yahtzee.
Yeah. Raymond's like, now's a perfect time for some dice games.
Which they look like teeth, but he just has her
so
shake something out of a container.
There's a word for that. Is it runes? Runes?
Let's find out.
I think. Basically, you have either... something like dice, like figures that have symbols on them, and those symbols are supposed to represent certain things. So essentially, you like roll the dice, and
look at you. It is runes. You're
yeah.
so good. You're so on your game.
But you can also do like random items and have those items mean something different,
symbolize something. Okay.
So he's like, listen, why don't you roll the dice, and I'll tell you your fortune. But what he actually does is he brings over this necklace, and he's like, listen, this is going to protect you because it will alert you if anyone is trying to bring you harm. So I think essentially what he means is like, if anyone ever tries to... Well, did he say...
It wasn't just poisoning her.
Did he say what it was?
It's stone, the magic stone.
But did he say what happened? How she'll know?
I believe he did.
That it changes color.
Yeah. So yeah, and then she took it and she left the shop, and we are back with, why do I always forget this woman's name?
It's not Louise, is it?
No, you're right. It's you're right. It's Louise de Rohan.
It's like grown up Kirsten Dunst.
Yes, they do look so similar. It's like
non-vampire adult version of Kirsten Dunst in Interview with a Vampire.
It's a very good summation. And we find out Louise is also pregnant.
Yes. Of course, while you think that might be a happy thing,
Louise is like, no.
It's not. So, her and her husband have not been intimate in months. So, that means... someone else is the baby's daddy.
And she's asking Claire to basically give her an abortion.
Yeah, and she's like, listen, so, what are my options here? And Claire's like, okay, well, I can try this one thing.
Black hellebore and Beverly. And then, like, as usual, it's like these herbs.
She's like, yeah, it's really dangerous. There's no guarantee that it would work, or like it could cause you harm.
Because it's poison, basically.
Yep. And so she's thinking about it, and she's like, okay, is there an option B? And Claire's like, listen, do you want the baby?
And that's, like, so sad, because she's like, of course I want it. She wants it because it's her and her lovers, but she feels like it's, or the man she's actually with wants to marry her. Her lover wants to marry her, and she doesn't see that, like, she's with Jules. She's married with Jules right now, and obviously they will, get divorced if she finds out she's been cheating. Also, for this time period, anybody to go through an abortion, if it's not surgical, but you're trying to do something internally and get rid of it, like, yeah, there's risk now, and there's tons of risk back then.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a great line. She's like, Claire's like, is there any way you can make your husband think it's his? And Louise is like, you mean sleep with my husband?
I feel so bad. It's just like, then don't, why are you with him? You shouldn't be with him. Oh my god.
Also, I'll say, like, that's the only good thing about men being so ignorant at that time. Not all of them, obviously, but, like, probably a bunch of them, you could just be like, have one night, and they're not going to do the math.
Yeah.
No. Was there math? Did anyone know how long women were pregnant?
That's
for
also
that
true.
Time? Like, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometime within a year, you'll have a baby, I guess. Jamie comes home, Claire's asleep, and Jamie is
He took his pants off.
He's frisky. I mean, this is like season 1,
Ooh,
Jamie.
We see his butt.
He's got no pants on.
More than that. God damn it.
He has a hickey on his inner thigh / hip bone area.
This is, like, so not cool.
This is very awkward.
Super awkward. So, was it actually a woman that did this to his leg?
And Jamie's like, yeah, no, wait, what? Don't worry about it. It was a simple thing. God. And she's like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, no, like, she was all up in there, like, kissing me in my inner thighs and, like, wanted to have sex, and, like, I was really turned on. And Claire's like, excuse me? How is this supposed to make me feel better? And he's like, no, I was turned on. So then I thought of you. And she's like, oh, I'm really glad that
He's saying all the wrong things.
A hooer from the brothel made you finally want to sleep with me.
Oh my god. Because they haven't yet. They have not been sexually satisfying each other, themselves, Jamie and Claire, each other for, like, a very long time. And then he was just now feeling emotions or passionate or finally getting into the mood of lust, as he says, or whatever. When there's a whore there, but he was just thinking of Claire, like, he's just fumbling his words, and, like, that would make me so... while you're pregnant...
Oh, no.
That would make me, like, off.
No, there would be no coming back. Like, I mean, listen, not that I would necessarily break... I don't know. I don't know
what I would do during that either, but I know I'd be bad.
I'm not talking to you for 24 hours. No, like, literally get out of my sight, because that is...
And you know what's hella
insulting.
weird is after all of this, and they're talking about how he was literally getting, mixed up with another woman. He brings up Randall. He brings up Blackjack, and he's like, I bet I've, like, as if he's, like, renewed and feeling a whole new life because he can finally, like, take Randall's life. And it's just like, so then what? You get drunk, and then you just, like, then this is like their second major fight.
This is really just part 2 of the same fight.
Oh, true. Yes,
this is
true.
like
It's an extension. Yes, but, like, the fact that Jamie thinks he's been struggling during this time, but of course Claire feels she's been struggling during this time, not having any connection with Jamie while being pregnant, holding on to doing all of this stuff while he's out free and doing anything that he wants.
And she's like, I'm going through it all on my own.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm here. And she's like, are you?
And this child labor is supposed to,
and Jamie's like,
okay.
Tough. And what about everything I went through at the prison and, like, trying to work through that? And, like, Claire's point is, like, So let's talk about it. Because right now we're not doing anything. Yeah. So, like, I'm not saying, like, we need to have sex or whatever. Like, I'm saying that there's no connection. There's no communication. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to be finding some form of intimacy that we can share to stay connected and together.
Right.
Right. And Jamie...
Also, then you, like, when you finally, like, open up to a random woman... Or you can spend, and, like, you can't even do that with your wife.
I mean, listen, I get...
Like, he got comfortable. I understand.
Situation. I get it. I'm sure he didn't ask for it. It just started.
And she just, and he had a lot of alcohol. Mm-hmm.
And he came home. Like, what did he do?
Because he was in the mood to be with his wife.
I get it. But also, my pride... Yeah, let me just also say, my pride would be so bruised. Okay. And I would be so resentful and angry in that moment.
Yes.
Because of everything I've been carrying with me, that I would be like, we need to just...
It's not
let's talk tomorrow.
Just the physical intimacy. For me, it would also be like Claire, like the fact that you can't talk about it. Like you said, you can't open up about your emotions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They used to talk about everything. That was the thing. They could share things with each other that they couldn't share with anyone else.
Yeah. That's why they had such a special bond.
Jamie does go through this really, like, beautiful but also very sad explanation of how he's been feeling. And it's really the first time that he's sharing that. Obviously, it's not easy for him to be vulnerable in that way. And this was so much more traumatic, really, than anything else he's been through.
Right.
So he's like, all right, I guess I'll go sleep somewhere else. And obviously, they're both upset. But I do think, even though this is in the form of a fight, like, I do think this is a step towards each other.
I also believe that. I feel like they have to hash things out.
Right.
You're opening up conversation.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
And then
and apparently
later
they agree.
Her boobs are definitely way bigger.
He's sleeping in a closet? Where is
I don't know. I don't know where this is.
But Claire's like, okay, well, I've thought about it. Like, clearly, like, they've, like, slept in separate bedrooms for, like, 3 hours. And then Claire's like, hey, so, like, I thought about this. I'm like, I'm really sorry. And also, here are my boobs.
She just drops her robe and she's naked and now they're going at it. And while she's been, like, he's, like, touching her stomach and, like, they're feeling so connected. That's something they created together. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he's enjoying her body.
Yeah. No, they're taking
also,
their
like,
time.
snaps for pregnancy sex. Like, nice to see it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, yes. You know, sex in all forms.
Yeah.
Representation.
Also, like, let's debunk the myth right here. Like, the vagina is oh so big. A man's dick is not going to harm the baby. It can't reach up there. That's what I'm saying. Like, it can't get to the uterus. But I feel like that's always been a thing in, like, movies or TV shows or something, at least when we were, like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like it was looming in the background. We were growing up where, like,
it's just, again, because, like,
the
female anatomy is so mystical, like, oh.
Yeah, or also it would be looked at not favorably, like being sexually involved with your partner if your partner is pregnant. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, no, like, a pregnant woman is a beautiful woman. Like, there's a lot.
Absolutely.
That body is not. I definitely like how they're
like, you are magical. Like, our bodies are magical.
You're in the process of creating life. Like, that's pretty incredible.
You are building another human inside you.
Yeah, you're multitasking every day for 9 months.
The extreme. Okay?
Yeah. So, I think this is a very sweet moment. And what happens with all sweet moments, they come to an end.
So they were having a cute little cuddle session in the closet.
Guys,
why is there a bed in the closet?
I still love how there's this closet guest bed.
The apartment could not be bigger, so, like, what is that? Is it a couch?
I think it is. I think it is a couch.
I don't know.
Inside a room.
Is it his man cave?
You just... PS5's in there?
So someone's on the roof.
Like,
you
who's
know,
on the roof?
why not?
Santa.
Yeah, right. On Dasher, on Dancer.
And Jamie grabbed a dagger.
A hacksaw? What is that?
And there's someone by the window.
And it is Bonnie Prince Charlie. This character annoys me so much. Like, he is exactly how he should be. Like, how they casted him. How he sounds. Perfectly cast.
He does,
like, that person that literally no one likes, but they're still, like, pretentious. Like, they still think they have some kind of pull. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, that makes me even more annoyed by you. And
absolutely. Yep.
Like, they're not, like, well, anyway. Yeah, no.
This is the first time Claire is meeting him.
So, hi, this is my wife. She just threw a robe over her boobs. Awkward. Also, her hair still looks great.
Oh, of course.
Also, does he not have pants on?
I don't think he does. Yeah, I don't think he does.
With his dingling, like, hanging loose in his shift.
So...
Is he sweaty or wet?
No, he's definitely, I don't think it was raining outside. I feel like he was, did he say it was whiskey? Maybe he's just sweating from drinking so much alcohol. Who knows? Oh, he cut his hand.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't even remember what he did. No. Maybe he was like...
oh, no.
Oh, it's too bad.
Well, probably from climbing onto the roof. He doesn't seem like the type that climbs naturally.
No, he does not seem the athletic type at all.
The climbing gene?
No.
Sorry, I'm really...
He's talking about... So this is what we find out.
So he's like, well, here's a little secret. I have a lover. Mm-hmm. And also for me, I was like, it's a woman? And he's like, yeah, I was with her, and then her husband came home, and then they fought. And so...
And we're already thinking, who could this woman be?
Sounds kind of familiar.
It does.
I feel like I heard of a similar situation just recently.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. They haven't said. Also, that so now this is when it clicks in Claire's brain, because the prince says she has a pet that bites. And Claire's like, is it a monkey?
Because Louise has a monkey.
So now we know the prince and Louise are lovers.
And so Louise's baby.
Prince Charles and Louise. Yeah, Prince Charles now has an heir.
Prince Charles.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's Louise's genes, right? So it's like, it's not all him, so it can't be that bad.
I don't want any of that guy's genes in my kid. I'm sorry.
You know, it is so funny, because I was just like, what does Louise see in him? She's like actually loved with him, and it's like, I feel like you're such a status, because she's like, yeah, no, for sure, I get that. And he's also...
Yeah, no, like,
just how they click, but I feel like she's like...
No, thank you.
She's just so much better than him.
Yeah, and like just thinking about having sex with it makes me
not
want to do
it. There's gotta be, somebody out there who
loves Louise.
Yeah. But now, I don't know. We're kind of in a pickle, in a little predicament here.
Well, this kind of helps Claire and Jamie, because they're like, well, here's an idea. How about to this dinner party we're gonna have, we invite Louise and her husband, and that way they're all in the same room together, and then we can tell everyone about the baby.
This is like, I said it before and I will say it again, this is the classic, like, Real Housewives of New Jersey shit. You're invite like a party and you're having a bunch of people where you know there's going to be conflict, or you know there are people who don't get along, and then you're going to drop a bomb of information, like... Stuff is stirring. And they're using this info to their advantage. Yeah. And Claire's like, does this make us bad people?
And Jamie's like, only a little. So they're setting up for this dinner party.
Look at this dining room.
I mean, that's beautiful.
Look, these centerpieces are peaches and roses. We've got, or the nectarines.
Peaches and cream.
Fruit.
Are you too young for that song?
Sing it.
Do you know it?
Sing it.
You don't know it.
I do.
Well, that's a car.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a car in
wedding
France.
bells for a moment. I don't know why.
No one getting married here.
So Claire's like, listen, so excited for this party. I'm just gonna run quick to the missionary hospital.
Well, I don't understand, but she's going anyway. Whatever, and she's looking fabulous as usual with a nice hood. But I love how they're prepping for everything. Look at this in the courtyard. Look at
wheelbarrows
this. Look at all this food. Ugh, it's gorgeous.
I love the word feast.
Same.
Like, I get really excited about, like, if you're like, let's feast, I'm like, yes, let's.
Oh,
we've had this conversation before. It just
Have
makes me think of, like, ripping bread and, like, dipping it in stew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have anything else to say
No,
about
I'm just
and like giant
my
grapes,
mouth's watering. I'm just like envisioning it.
Like giant grapes that have the seeds in them, which I'm not excited about the seeds, but I like that they're giant.
You know,
grapes.
there are giant grapes that don't have seeds in them.
Really?
Yeah, GMOs.
Oh, perfect.
GMOs that makes all our fruit bigger. But those don't have. Yeah, they're seedless. Yeah, I don't know. Why do grapes have to have seeds in them? Like the ones that
they're
are
just so small. That's a problem. Can they just be a little? Like, can they be like a cherry pit so then you can be like, well, that's where it is.
It's a little bit more manageable. Yeah.
But if you have like 6 tiny little slivers in there and a big grape, like it's really hard. The ratio is very difficult.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. I also don't love how lemons have seeds in them because it looks like I'm cutting a lemon and then like squeezing it onto my food or like when I'm cooking and then like the seeds fall in and it's just like, oh damn it, I gotta like take it out.
Here would be a request if it could at least be another color.
That's
to stand out.
Like watermelon.
So I could at least
black
take it
seeds against a pink backdrop.
Yeah.
You totally bizarre. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Any grapefruit.
You know what I love? I love blackberries.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to Cracker Barrel last week.
Ooh.
For breakfast.
Mm.
I love once a year. Like, that's it. Just once a year doing a good Cracker Barrel breakfast. Anyway, they serve phenomenal biscuits with this blackberry preserves. So good. And I bought a jar. And I made myself peanut butter and jelly for lunch this week. And
amazing. That sounds scrumptious.
So good. Sorry, I just realized I'm talking about delicious food. And there is a person at the hospital with a giant gash in his leg.
Maybe they just use blackberry preserve.
Yeah,
for
maybe.
The blood.
It looks maybe more like strawberry or
or cherry,
raspberry, something like that.
Oh,
they are pushing a big
bone back into place.
Ooh.
They're about to snap someone's leg back into form. That's what they're doing.
Yikes.
Phew. I love their old-fashioned ointment.
A salve.
Hangman's grease, they call it. What is actually the...
It's literally the fat from hanged
criminals.
Oh, right. That's what he
insane.
is. He was / is a butcher, and he's also the undertaker in the city of Paris.
You gotta have multiple jobs.
That's why he's a little creepy. He's a man of many hoods.
You know, he's a millennial. Just in the saying that like millennials have more than one job usually, and you're also trying to like be a producer of many things. But anyway, what am I saying?
Yes, he's the royal executioner. I remember, which like because he does seem like slightly creepy, and you're not really sure why, but he also seems to know what he's talking about. So you're like, I'm gonna listen to what you're saying. It's like one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna be nice to you. Because then when you snap, hopefully you'll remember that I was nice to you.
Yes.
Like, it's that kind of vibe where it's like, I'll be nice to you, but not overly nice. Like, I'm going to draw a very clear boundary.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like you would do to like, a bully in middle school.
A bully or someone you just weren't sure about?
Well, for me, you would try and be nice to
I didn't.
bullies or the like because if they then would like snap or do something or whatever, you're being like, oh yeah, like I'm not, but you're okay. For me, it's kind of like you're like playing both sides. You're not truly like, no, I hate bullies. No, I usually don't like being nice to bullies, but unfortunately when I was younger I did not have the confidence to like be like, bitch out my way, like get, stand up for myself.
But you did have the confidence to try and be nice to them?
No, it was more like out of like cowardice. I don't know, being like shy and being like, oh yeah, you're too like, pretend like you agree with whatever shit. You're just like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine, like blah blah blah, and just as long as like you don't, like I stay out of your way, under the radar, blah 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 blah. But I'm totally like, yeah, hating them and not being like, oh my gosh, you make me uncomfortable.
Oh gosh, I still remember how uncomfortable I was. I took my freshman year of high school, which I came from Catholic school, and then went to public high school, so I really didn't know anyone. Like, it was an awkward year. I did good, and like, I did well, and I made friends and whatever. But I took like intro to art or whatever, and it was my last period of the day, and all of my other classes, I was put on a team, so essentially you have like all of your core classes with the same people. So you're with a lot of the same people throughout the day. So like that was really nice. This was the only class where no one I had met that year was in that class. So I was like, all right, a bunch of strangers, and I was at this table with like a bunch of troublemakers. And it was like me and 3 troublemakers, and I literally would just try my hardest to be invisible at that table, because the things they talked about, the way they talked about other people, and like they were the kind of bullies that like knew how to toe the line where it's like you couldn't fully tell if they were bullying you or not, or like I don't know, I was like, I'm out of my league. Like they were like public school bullies, and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, every day that I had that class, I was like, please just keep talking about whatever you're talking about, and like just ignore me. Like that was my like dream, was to just ignore me. And they used to like talk about like raunchy stuff, and like I was in 9th grade, and I'm like, oh my god, like is this period over? And I really liked art, and unfortunately after that I was like, I'm just never gonna do art again, because I like never wanted to be in any class with them.
That just like
influenced. Sorry, a lot went on screen while we were talking. So essentially, their carriage broke. So Claire stayed late at the hospital because there were a lot of issues. Their carriage wheel was broken, so they were like, all right, I guess we'll have to walk home. And Myrta's like, okay, well, I'm escorting you. And
also before that, Jamie met the Duke.
Yes, so the party has started back at Jamie and Claire's apartment without Claire because she's late. There's no word of her, so like they essentially Jamie doesn't know what's going on. He's nervous because they have to walk quite a ways, so it's going to be a long time. So during this walk, Mary Hawkins is like, she essentially was like, oh, I really like Blackjack, Randall's brother. What's his name?
Yeah, Alex. She was saying Randall, and Claire assumed that Mary Hawkins was talking about Blackjack.
Right.
But Mary Hawkins doesn't know that there's Blackjack. She doesn't know that Alex is a brother, and then it was kind of like a sigh of relief where Claire's like, oh, you mean Alex? Okay, you mean the brother. Yeah. Thank God you're not with the terrible. But then, I hate this scene. I hate any time this happens.
Okay, so essentially they were ambushed, and there's, I think, like a group of 3 men that attack
Myrta. They beat him up.
Myrta,
put him unconscious, basically.
Claire, and Mary, and they rape Mary. And
she was a virgin.
Yeah, her attacker is like, oh, I got a virgin. And this is traumatic. This is like our 3rd rape of the series. One thing I will say is Claire noticed a birthmark
Mhm.
on one of the attacker's hands, which could be important down the road. They take her hood off, and all of a sudden one of the attackers is like, it's Madame Blanche, Madame Blanche, and they like all decide to just run away. So Claire like pulls the guy off of Mary, goes to like embrace her and make sure she's as okay as possible. Murtaugh finally gets up, and now we're back at the house with Jamie greeting all his guests by himself. And like, I'm sure all the guests feel kind of weird. Also, Louise's husband is so much better looking.
He looks like
more
like a
Charlie.
man. Prince Charles looked more like
they
like
go
a little
together.
Kid. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't know the guy. I understand he might, but it also didn't seem like she thought he was like a bad person. This is weird.
I just don't think she's just not in love with him.
I guess.
Louise is just not in love with the guy she's married to.
Oh,
she
awkward.
That Prince Charles is kissing her hand way too long.
Is literally giving it like 7 very long kisses, which
she was enjoying, probably, but she has to pretend she's not.
I think she's essentially decided to make her husband think that it's his baby, and that's what she's resigned herself to.
So you think she's decided to keep the baby?
Yeah, and I think, to make her husband think it's his. And so I think especially since she does seem to be more of a she likes to do things for show, and she finds status important. Like, I think if she made that decision, she knows that that's the best for her life. And so probably at this point, she doesn't want anything to mess that up.
Sure.
So she was kind of like, hey, man, play it cool here. Don't blow our cover.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
So essentially, they get home. They finally reach home, and Jamie is livid. And they're like, he's like, okay, Murtaugh, how the hell did you let this happen?
Murtaugh's like, I'm one man. I got beat up by 3 guys. Knocked unconscious.
Oh my god. Fergus is so cute.
He's adorable.
And now they have this issue of Mary has been raped, and that can be really problematic if people find out. And so now they have this room full of very important people, and they need to like sneak Mary into the house, and Jamie doesn't love that idea.
But how precious, how sweet that Alex Randall is sitting next to her bedside, and he's just like, no, I won't leave her, like Mary Hawkins, and he's just like looking after her while she recovers, and like his face, like he was just already, he's just so drawn and attached to her, and he's hurting because she was hurting, and I'm like, oh my god.
Claire is kind of shaken up.
For sure, and now she has to go and be presentable and greet a bunch of these people as if that she's just gotta like compartmentalize.
Yeah. I mean, also she was attacked as well.
Yes.
She watched Mary get raped,
and she knows what that's like.
Yeah. And
there's
this stress. They're also trying. The whole point of having this dinner is to ruin everything.
And the Duke invited Hoomst that they didn't think was going to be here, and they're a bit surprised.
Yeah.
He said the Patriot? I'm not sure who he's referring to. I can't remember. Well, we'll see when they go to the next scene. And also, Claire is wearing...
she puts on the necklace.
The
Comte.
Oh, yes, right.
So the Duke
that they
invites the Comte, like, to their house.
Yeah.
Which, that's the last person you want in your home, let alone even knowing where you live.
Yeah. So, oh my
so
god,
I think
look at
that's
this
why she put on the necklace
dining
specifically.
set. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, no, actually, she put it on before. She put it on before she knew that he was going to be here. I think she's now, basically keeping it around her to, like,
oh my gosh,
protect herself. Yeah, I know.
I should be so lucky. I love Louise's dress, or Louise's dress. So Jamie presents Claire to the room, and she's like, hey, so sorry. I'm late, but guess what? Dinner's served, so... Wow, completely you just pooped his pants.
His face always looks like he's like an angry vampire or something. He
like
always
wild
like,
eyes.
Like, right? Yeah.
Stoic face,
yeah,
but like
dude,
wild
chill.
eyes. Alex Randall also like very much looks like he could be Blackjack's brother.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Did we talk
Good
about
casting.
that? Great casting.
Good casting.
We
I don't think we did. I don't
mentioned
think we mentioned that they definitely picked people who had similar physical traits. Yeah. So sweet.
Aww,
like he's just
like,
he's a total opposite.
Yes.
Like obviously they're not. Thank
Literally
God
night
doesn't
and
run in
day.
the family. They're not.
Oh wow, she's next to the compt. That is not fun.
Interesting seating arrangement
Because they have to be on either end, I guess.
Oh well, her and Jamie, yeah. They
Yeah.
have to each be on the head of the table.
That is a nightmare. I think, really, like, where you sit can make or break your experience.
Yo, I agree with that. I agree with that. So, what, like, Thanksgiving, does it matter? We have Thanksgiving coming up and, like, seating arrangements
you know what? Thanksgiving, I'm there for a good time, not a long time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just need a place to put my plate so I can make it disappear.
Yes.
And then go get another one.
Yeah. It's
so
food,
also,
I get it.
Yeah, we do it at my cousin's house, and like, the way their house is set up, typically it's like multiple tables separately in a room. Mm-hmm. So like, it's always, you never really know where you're gonna end up type of deal.
Gotcha.
But yeah, what about you? Is Thanksgiving like the place where you're like, I'm getting a specific seat?
No, actually, it's not. I was just curious on your end, but no, I like sitting next to anybody. I like spending time with Jordan's family. Mm-hmm. Also, like, that's usually where I go for Thanksgiving. Like, everybody's just like super lovely, chill, great. Like, it's you just enjoy the conversation, really, really good food, and like, yeah, it's just we enjoy each other's presence. So it's not.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, your partner, do you think it's better to sit next to them or across from them? At, like, group functions.
It depends. It depends on the function and the circumstance. Sometimes we're seated, like, Jordan's, at the head of the table, and I'm like next to him on either side, whatever side. So you're kind of like like that. I don't know. I like it either way, sitting across or next to. I don't think it really changes the dynamic for me. Why?
Okay, so across from each other, you can have eye conversations. Next to each other, you can have whisper conversations.
To be honest, I don't think we really have eye conversations.
Am I just a gossip? Is that what we're learning?
No. I totally get what you mean. Which I love how we're talking about this now, because like this is their added dinner, sitting in the dining room, and there's a lot of conversation going on, which like, oh, what if you can't hear the person at the end of the table? Like, oh, you whisper at your end. You're like, oh, you're just looking at person at like blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously,
and Claire's like,
Jamie and Claire have to
now's the time to announce a pregnancy. Are you understanding my head movement?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they literally just decide to announce someone else's baby.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I didn't want to tell anyone that yet.
And it comes out, and now Prince Charles knows.
Yeah, so this is the news being broken to him that she's keeping the baby and she's just going to pretend like it's her husband's.
Yeah. Also, just going back to what you were saying, I feel like we're just usually not in a setting of people, or like when it's with us, like we're very lucky and fortunate where I get along with all his family. So yeah, if there's weird, which I guess we have done like eye conversations or things, being like respectful to not like say things out loud, but also like whispering. Also, like the thing for me is that like you could just like touch his leg. That thing like being like, and I also pick at his plate and eat them and stuff. Like I
also didn't necessarily mean like in a bad way.
Yeah, no, I got
saying bad things.
Yes, no, being like cheeky and cute and like romantic with each other for sure. Yeah.
Or, like, sometimes, like, we should, like, talk about that later type of deal.
Yeah.
Or, like, ooh, let's note that and, like, dive deeper into that later.
Yeah. I'm just very comfortable with wherever I'm seated and whatever.
That's good.
The deal
it's
is.
A good way.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, if I'm, like, a parent, like, do I have to be the head of the table? And, like, the other guy's the other one and the kitty's gotta be in the side?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Try it out. Test out different options. See what you like.
We can move on from this.
Okay. So essentially they made the announcement and things did not go the way they thought, meaning
when does it ever?
Prince Charlie did not have like a huge like big reaction. So next Mary woke up and was like freaking out and Alex was trying to like calm her down, and then it cut back to the dinner table and the compt is essentially like, oh, that necklace, it looks very similar to one I've seen that like changes colors when people try and poison them. Well, it's interesting that you have it on. So Mary is running away from Alex. I think
which is not good. We don't want her running into the dining room.
Yeah, so I think she's like confused and having a flashback and is just like really traumatized. So she's not registering that it's Alex. Oh, this looks really bad. It
looks so bad, yeah.
So she runs to the living room, which is right next to the dining room, and Alex essentially ended up like kind of on top of her trying to like restrain her, but it also kind of looked like he was raping her,
and so her family members are in the room, like her uncles.
Yeah, so everyone runs in and now there's a giant brawl that has started between the men. I mean, this was also weird, like,
but is it though? Because it's just like Scotland. Right,
but
so when it comes to the bottom, they're still fighting when there was dinner and nobody is being poised and whatever.
Yeah, but it's Frenchmen. Like, it's just weird that they're like one by one going up to like.
Well, they thought she was being harmed.
But no one knows what's going on, and why are they fighting Jamie? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like some.
Yeah, well, because he was trying to get them out of the way.
So this is weird, and everyone else is just kind of standing around, like, who are all these men? So yeah, strange. So everyone's like, I guess I'll head out. Fergus sits down at the dinner table,
and
like,
look at this
yes. Okay.
Oh, like, and
Jamie are clotheslining people.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is where it gets a little ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah. And then it just ends.
And they're like, and
it's
then,
like a wrestling match. Yeah.
They're like, I know the perfect way to end this episode. Jamie and Myrta clothesline a person.
Well, we have a lot in this episode to review in our scoring section. Steaminess, plot, feminine power, costume, set, and cringe factor. So, steaminess, we've got Claire and Jamie having sex while she was pregnant. That was a huge hard hitter. I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'm giving it a 4 as well, because it's, like, it's a mixture of, like, reconnecting sex and also makeup sex.
Yes.
And also, like, they've gotten their emotions out. They've finally communicated. Love that. I just wish, like, there was more of, like, even if it was, like posts, like, just cuddling and stuff. They got interrupted.
I agree. Right, by
that.
Prince Charles. Ugh. Cringe points for him. Plot, yeah. Kind of just seeing things through from last episode. Not really any new developments, would you say, right? I'll probably give it a 1.
I also gave it a 1. Because I think a lot of it's stupid.
Feminine power.
Claire went to the hospital and, like, did some good work. She also, like, after their little fight / conversation, she's the one that, like, initiated.
Reconciled things.
Some sex, which was nice.
Yeah.
Like, for her, because, like, she, I think, has been a bit deprived.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
Yeah.
What else? Feminine power. Oh, like, women supporting women and Louise going to Claire and, like, them kind of brainstorming what her options are. Did I say what I would give it? I'll give it a 3.5.
I give it a 2. Okay. Yeah, costume set. I might do a 5 for this one. The dinner party, her outfits in every scene, the apothecary, once again, their house, and then there were some things in the beginning I can't remember.
The fence, the gold fence.
Yeah,
gate.
Also that. Yes, the library where they were playing chess.
5 for
the
sure.
Locations are just mega amazing.
I'm obsessed.
Cringe, obviously the rape scene. Any scene with Prince Charles.
Yeah, ew, and thinking about him having sex.
Also, the fact that, like, Mary's 14, that happened so young, she was a virgin doing, like, there was a lot on top of that was not sitting right. It was just,
The stupid fight. It's so stupid, it made me cringe. And the leg, the bone.
Oh, yes, true. Oh my god, we had so many gross things.
So are you a negative?
What? -4.
A -4?
Yeah, kind of rating it high.
A -5. I don't like it. I've decided I'm no longer going to do quick math on this podcast, so it's going to be like a mystery in terms of what I ranked it unless you do the math yourself.
Well, I have an 11, but I'm also saying we are collecting the data and putting it in an Excel sheet.
Oh, yes.
So don't you worry, people. You will see things. Maybe we'll release our scores from season 1, which we have to do, and then we'll go, season by season, and you guys will continue tuning in, and we are very curious to see what you guys think about the coming episodes.